Brace yourselves, folks, because we're diving into a sinister realm of urban nightmares. These are the 7 most dreadful cities in America, a cursed lineup of overpriced living, economic decay, and rampant criminal activity. If relocating is on your horizon, these are the cities you definitely want to dodge. If you're already stuck there, consider this your urgent wake-up call to escape. In this spine-chilling video, we're exposing the horrid truth using cold, hard facts from the FBI, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and Zillow. These are the terrifying reasons why the quality of life in these cities reaches rock bottom, tagging them as the absolute worst places to be in the United States. If you're on a quest to find a new, thriving city to call home, or are on the lookout for a real estate goldmine, then beware, these dreadful 7 should be nowhere on your list. So let's break open the vault of doom and delve into the grim statistics. Many of you, frightened by your current city's situation, flock to me with pressing queries. I see these questions popping up in YouTube comments, flooding my inbox, and swarming my Instagram messages. Oh, and if you're not following me on Instagram yet, do it now. Escape tips await you. The first burning question I get is, what is the safest, most prosperous place to relocate to in America? We all yearn to flee from these urban horrors to places that offer a slice of hope at a reasonable price. The second most frequent plea is, where can I safely invest in real estate without fearing a nosedive into financial despair? I've crafted this haunting video for those desperate to escape the quagmire of these dismal cities, whether it's with a family or a financial strategy in mind. I wouldn't dare approach these cities with a barge pole. Why are these places the stuff of nightmares for potential residents or investors? The answer is straightforward and horrifying. They are plagued by what I call the ghastly trifecta. Curious about this ominous term? It encompasses the 3 malevolent traits you dread encountering in any city, whether for making your home or staking your investment. Prepare for a journey into America's urban underworld. Number 7 is a chilling spot, where the dark shadows of exorbitant living costs loom eerily. Imagine trying to stretch your pay, only to be haunted by relentlessly high prices. Zillow whispers tales of typical homes priced at ghastly heights, overshadowing the local wages from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, sending a shiver down your spine. This is a place where the resounding toll of financial struggle echoes along the city's streets, trapping its inhabitants in a cycle where saving becomes a distant phantom and growing seems an impossible dream. As if this isn't foreboding enough, beware, for an insidious specter of a deteriorating economy casts a pall over these cities. A grim warning from the Bureau of Labor Statistics highlights a sinister reality, with unemployment rates clawing their way to alarming numbers. Job seekers linger, souls wandering these streets, unable to find solace in employment. Over the pandemic's reign of terror, these cities have bled jobs, not just in the last few months but steadily over the past 5 years. When a city begins to rot from the inside, lucrative employment opportunities vanish and hopeful residents flee, leaving behind a landscape of economic desolation and a haunted real estate market. And yet, this spectral city does not rest quietly. A sinister undercurrent of crime courses through its veins. Violent acts, from malicious assaults to chilling burglaries, paint the town in a grim shade. With data sourced directly from the FBI, we've unearthed the terrifying statistics of violent crime rates plaguing these metro areas. What we found is certain to send a chill down your spine. Once peaceful avenues are now haunted by fear, as the specter of crime casts a shadow over daily life, leaving the hapless residents trapped in a web of anxiety and despair. Keep your curiosity piqued until the end of this unsettling journey, where we'll guide you on accessing this infamous data yourself, allowing you to uncover the specters lurking within your city. But first, brace yourself, we're delving into the 7 most spine-chilling cities in America. Let the haunting countdown begin. Opening the eerie list, we summon a city draped in renown, yet now suffocated by its own notoriety. Once hailed as a beacon, now a whispering warning, welcome to New York, New York. Towering buildings stand amid a skyline that was once a lucrative dream but is now cast in shadows of despair. The city that never sleeps teeters on the edge, with the Big Apple rendering into the rotten apple. Over these past harrowing an error occurred during generation. Please try again or contact support if it continues. 6 ladies and gentlemen, gather round because it's time to delve into some spine-chilling truths about the 6th most dreadful place to live in America. This tale takes us to a city so far removed from the bustling metropolis of New York, you'd think you've been transported to a different world altogether. We are talking about the bleak and desolate city of Anchorage, Alaska, a place where the sun seems to have forgotten its duty, leaving its inhabitants in a perpetual shroud of darkness. Picture this during the dead of winter. Those poor souls trapped in this frigid wasteland endure a mere 6 hours of daylight. The sun barely graces the horizon before sinking back into the abyss, casting Anchorage into an inky gloom. But don't let the darkness fool you into thinking this is a place of solitude. Beneath its shadowy veil lurks something far more sinister, a staggering increase in violent crime that will make your blood run cold. The statistics are chilling. Anchorage boasts the highest violent crime rate per capita in the entire United States of America. Yes, you heard that right. Nowhere else in this vast nation are you more likely to cross paths with a murderer, face the horror of an assault, or suffer the trauma of a violation. As you wander the dimly lit streets, rest assured that more than 1 out of every 100 residents experiences the terror of violent crime each year. So if you're planning to put down roots in this gloomy town, beware, your chances of becoming a statistic are unfathomably high. As if the perpetual darkness and rampant crime weren't enough, Anchorage shows no mercy when it comes to economic despair. The city is gripped by relentless job losses over the past half-decade, leaving many without work and community resources to wane. Adding to the horror, the cost of living here defies logic, hovering above the national average. With a typical home price of $330,000, this city demands a premium for your suffering, a shocking 10% more than you'd pay elsewhere across this sprawling country. In Anchorage, Alaska, the standards of living come at a terrifyingly steep cost, masquerading as a mediocre economy while demanding your sanity and safety. With every flicker of failing streetlights, the destruction of dreams and economic hope seems to be just around the corner, lurking in the shadows. It doesn't take a detective to understand why Anchorage finds itself on the terrifying list of America's worst cities to live in. Indeed, this is not somewhere you want to call home unless, of course, you thrive on dancing with danger and flirting with fear. 5. Our next unsettling stop on this bone-chilling list leads us away from the frozen tundra of Anchorage to a place where perpetual heat scorches the earth under an unrelenting sun. Brace yourselves as we descend into the sun-baked fearsomeness of Albuquerque, New Mexico, a city awash in crime and chaos. Imagine this metropolis bathed in endless sunlight, where the shadows cast are deeper and eerier, mirroring the dark activities that fester in its underbelly. You might recognize Albuquerque from the gritty tales spun by the cult television series Breaking Bad and its equally sinister counterpart, Better Call Saul. These portrayals of a criminal cataclysm were not mere fiction, but rather a mirror reflecting the unvarnished truth of a city enveloped in an endless struggle against criminal malevolence. Prepare to confront the nightmare that is Albuquerque, a place that horrifies with a violent crime rate surpassed by only 2 other cities in the nation. Here, the lawlessness sizzles beneath the skin of the city just as intensely as the relentless desert sun blisters the streets. Anchorage reigns supreme on the ladder of lawlessness, with Memphis close behind, but Albuquerque is not far off, lurking in third place like an insidious specter. Imagine being an innocent convenience store clerk in this desert den of violence, clocking in for a seemingly ordinary shift only to find yourself staring down the barrel of danger. A chilling reality for many seeking to earn their measly $24 an hour, a paltry sum in return for risking life and limb. Thriving or merely surviving in Albuquerque is a pursuit tinged with dread. Despite being haunted by these criminal statistics, the city lures residents with a mixture of alluring yet misleading charms. The idea of a home might seem tempting, yet the typical abode runs at a hefty $270,000, far from a trivial purchase in a city of fear. Employment prospects offer little solace, with a grimly hovering 5.9% unemployment rate, a figure that amplifies an already tense environment. Economic growth may be tepid, but in the eerie quiet of Albuquerque's nights, opportunity waits in the trappings of desperation and dread. Our ominous journey compels us to pause and ponder if this city is worth the allure beneath its bright, burning veneer. The sun-laden streets of Albuquerque may offer warmth, but be wary of the chilling currents of crime that flow beneath, disguised by the guise of daily life. As we reflect on this malevolent metropolis, let us remind ourselves here persists a precarious path where danger and daylight intertwine. Albuquerque stands as a stark reminder that not all is sunshine in the land where shadows lurk. 4. Prepare yourself as we delve into the abyss of urban nightmares. The 4th city in our countdown to America's worst is a glittering mirage that conceals unimaginable horrors beneath its golden veneer. Welcome to San Francisco, the so-called Golden City, where the cost of existence will drain your soul and every penny in your bank account. This tech capital of the world stands as the monolithic monument of despair for anyone desperate enough to call it home. Imagine, if you will, a world where dreams of owning a home are dashed upon the jagged rocks of reality. The typical home price in the Bay Area is an unfathomable $1.3 million, a figure that looms over the national average like a dark, oppressive cloud. Here, literal blood, sweat, and tears convert into currency, yet the staggering truth is that wages don't even scrape the astronomical summits of the cost of living. A typical worker earns just $81,000 annually, meaning it takes a punishing 17 years of relentless labor to even fantasize about owning a home. In a country where it's common to secure a home within 5 to 6 years, this financial purgatory is extraordinary and bleak. But the fiscal horrors don't stop there. Exorbitant gas prices punctuate the pain at $5 a gallon, and the cost of basic necessities like food feels like an endless burden. The city's residents, clawing their way through exorbitant expenses just to survive, find themselves tethered to a relentless cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. They're trapped within a crumbling economic landscape that offers no hope of escape, especially with the mass exodus this city has seen over the past few years, reminiscent of a rat deserting a sinking ship. A historical wave of migration shrouds the city, leaving behind an eerily silent labor force, skeletal and desolate. Even behind the veneer of a deceivingly low unemployment rate of 5.7%, the barren wasteland of economic prospects is apparent to all. Unless you're ensnared in the labyrinthine loops of the tech industry, the city's economic vitality is but an echo, a shadowy form of its former self. What's more, San Francisco bears the haunted title of the worst homelessness crisis in the entire country. The streets are hollowed out, filled with souls who drift like wraiths amidst the cold and uncaring world that surrounds them. And as if that wasn't enough to bury the spirits of the remaining residents, an epidemic of lawlessness and theft infests the city. San Francisco wrestles with the 5th highest rate of larceny in America, where the specter of crime reaches forth to claim its victims with chilling regularity. Reports say roughly 1 in 25, a shockingly high number, will find themselves prey within the span of a year. During my own ominous visit mere months ago, I saw this sinister side firsthand. Friends who accompanied me bore witness to their vehicle being savaged and $2,000 worth of their possessions vanished in the blink of an eye. San Francisco, cloaked in glamour, is a siren, luring the unwary into its depths of financial devastation and rampant crime. One must truly ask oneself, with a city so enshrouded in dread and despair, is there reason left for its residents to remain? Save yourself the heartache and keep this haunted metropolis in mind when deciding where to steer clear. Avoid becoming ensnared in San Francisco's grip, choose safety and solace elsewhere, and secure your peace of mind away from the suffocating shadows cast by its golden facade. 3. Beware the dangers of Las Vegas and Los Angeles. In a shocking twist of fate, many fleeing the staggering expenses of San Francisco and the rest of California find themselves ensnared in an equally ominous trap. They gravitate towards the 3rd most treacherous city on this dreaded list, a once affordable haven now engulfed in financial chaos and uncertainty. Where is this perilous place, you ask? None other than Las Vegas, the infamous city of sin. This glitzy illusion operates on a fragile economy dominated by its leisure and hospitality sector along the shimmering strip. Unfortunately, these jobs are infamously low-paying and volatile, currently plunging into a deep economic plunge. The warning signs are everywhere. Las Vegas grapples with an unemployment rate exceeding 8%, with a staggering number of livelihoods lost since the pandemic's merciless wrath. The average citizen finds themselves in a desperate struggle, as those lucky enough to secure employment face the cruel reality of meager wages that fail to keep pace with skyrocketing living costs. Brace yourselves, for the typical home price has catapulted from $220,000 back in 2016 to a jaw-dropping $380,000 in 2021, a chilling 67% surge. Meanwhile, the average hourly wage has barely nudged upward, creeping from $24 to $26.50, a measly 20% increase over the same period. Las Vegas is a powder keg, with living costs spiraling at triple the rate of wage growth, a toxic concoction for a city infamous for its crime. Echoing through the shadows, FBI data reveals that Las Vegas sits unsettlingly within the 80th percentile for violent crime across the nation. This sinister blend of economic decline, swelling living expenses, and rampant lawlessness is not limited to Las Vegas. The foreboding pattern repeats ominously in the second most dreadful city on our infamous list, more haunting than any in America. Venture no further, for Los Angeles beckons with a siren's call, its charms masking a chilling dystopia where struggling families and weary workers find no refuge. They've been left in the lurch as economic opportunities vanish amidst a backdrop of harrowing real estate prices. Zillow's data unveils an unsettling truth: the typical home in LA is valued at an overwhelming $837,000. That figure towers at nearly 3 times the national average, brandishing the third highest housing cost nationwide. Meanwhile, the city's beleaguered workers earn an average of a mere $35 per hour, trapping them in a Sisyphean cycle that demands 13 grueling years of their wages to conquer this monstrous housing market. Los Angeles wears its expensive facade like a shroud. Californians brace for this reality, particularly in desirable locales boasting delightful weather. Yet, the city's real malady lies in its nightmarish economy. Los Angeles languishes with the worst economic woes among America's sprawling metropolises in the autumn of 2021. Recent figures from the BLS disclose a ghastly unemployment rate of 9.1%, starkly contrasted to the national average of 4.8%. As desperate job seekers scramble, employment opportunities remain elusive, and the workforce dwindles at an alarming rate. In droves, people abandon this beleaguered city, escaping the suffocating hold of a dystopian nightmare that somehow melds sky-high expenses with suffocating unemployment. Yes, these relentless cities beckon with promises of prosperity, only to trap the unsuspecting in their web. Heed these warnings. Stand back from the brink. These are shadowlands treacherous and alluring, yet fraught with dangers for the unwary traveler seeking refuge among the ruins. Before we descend into the heart of darkness and reveal the most nightmarish city in America, let us pause to decipher the sinister warnings emanating from the likes of Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York. These sprawling, international metropolises, once gleaming beacons of opportunity, have now morphed into dystopian landscapes that could send shivers down any spine. These cities, steeped in rich history, are now ensnared in a terrifying twist, becoming modern-day horror stories for the average citizen. Sit up and take heed. The grand illusion of wealth and glamour masks an economic underworld devoid of growth and rife with despair. While the skylines sparkle enticingly under the night sky, beneath their dazzling exterior lies a faceless reality. A reality where wages crumble impotently against the towering monoliths of home prices and oppressive unemployment rates torment the souls of the middle and lower class. As if trapped in a disturbing purgatory, those entrapped find themselves clawing at inescapable shadows, with scant hope of saving even pennies, let alone ascending the twisted, labyrinthine socio-economic ladder. But wait, like a suspenseful thriller, there's a greater chasm opening up within these urban nightmares. A terrifying divide splits the populace, the middle class, who flounder amidst wreckage, confronting their own haunted reflections of modest earnings, versus the affluent and detached elite. Picture, if you will, a land where Instagram influencers with millions of followers lavish in indulgence, surrounded by a glistening veneer of OnlyFans glamour, singing serenades of delight in the city of angels. Or envision, if you dare, those cloaked in inspiration and power amid San Francisco's towering tech hills, who peer down at the teeming masses with detached apathy. Prepare yourself for this chilling revelation for the wealthy elite nestled in their sanitized, crime-free enclaves or reveling in the surreal freedom of remote careers. New York, San Francisco, and La may indeed resemble paradise. But do not be fooled. For the masses, the beleaguered breadwinner, the struggling student, or the average family, the narrative is twisted beyond recognition, leading only to a downward spiral into despairing darkness. With an ominous shroud slowly enveloping these cities, it is imperative that you recognize the grisly disparity. For those who dream of an escape from this harrowing cycle of suffering, such metropolises are no longer hospitable. Instead, they stand as the haunted havens of a select few, where the reality of the average person dissolves into a nightmare. And here's the chilling truth: the town of nightmares isn't just one place, it's a lurking web of despair spanning across a singular geographic anomaly. Brace yourself, for we plunge into the heart of California's Central Valley, a sinister stretch of land marked by eerie misfortune. Astonishingly, this cursed region claims the terrifying accolade of having nearly 8 of the top 10 worst cities in America, Imagine such a haunting dominance, an entire region drowning under the weight of its collective despair. In this desolate stretch of land, cities like Stockton, Modesto, Merced, Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield rise out of the fog like ghostly specters, casting long shadows filled with economic ruin and rampant crime. Stockton, where unemployment festers at 8.8%, beckons you into a financial labyrinth where the cost of a home towers at 11 times what an average worker scrapes together. It's a cruel jest, where Stockton's grim reality supersedes even the inflated markets of Salt Lake City, Austin, Boston, or New York when juxtaposed with its crushingly low wages. Further along this spine-chilling trail lies Visalia, its unemployment a monstrous 11%, achingly ranking among the highest in the nation's infernal listings. Bakersfield echoes this turmoil, hitting a hauntingly similar pitch at 10.5%. Each city, a tale of woe, trapped in an economic purgatory forged from an agricultural legacy clinging desperately to the past. Picture the valley as America's doomed breadbasket, conjuring 25% of the nation's sustenance and nearly half of all fruits and nuts, yet the local agony festers from this very success. Oranges, limes, almonds, pistachios, all labored over by hands that time has forgotten in this stagnant time loop whisper stories of prosperity, but fail to mask the desperation beneath. The Central Valley's economy remains frozen in a bygone era, never basking in the glitzy promises of the tech boom, which dances tantalizingly close in the neighboring Bay Area and Los Angeles, yet continues to ignore its silent pleas. Yet this isn't merely an antiquated economy teetering on the brink of irrelevance, it's a trap under the merciless scrutiny of California's overbearing legislation. Strangled by the state's relentless environmental codes, shackled by suffocating building regulations and unyielding rent controls, these cities lie suffocating under a bureaucratic maze. Here, dynamism is but a forgotten dream, and resilience is snuffed out by shackling laws. So be forewarned and tread these haunted streets with care, for here, under the sunlit guise of California's vast agricultural heartland, lies a sinister saga of economic decay and peril. Steer clear, wary traveler, for you've been cautioned about the malevolence that pervades the enigma of California's Central Valley. In conclusion, the depiction of these cities serves as a stern warning to those who might be lured in by the superficial allure of California's Central Valley. Despite their fertile lands and agricultural abundance, these cities are bound by economic turmoil and restrictive regulations that stifle growth and advancement. Stockton, Modesto, Merced, Fresno, Visalia, Bakersfield, and their neighboring counterparts present a harrowing landscape, one steeped in unemployment, dire housing conditions, and a lack of progressive opportunities. For those seeking prosperity and a sustainable future, these are not the places to set dreams alight. Instead, they remain cautionary tales, monuments to the American dream's shadows where vigilance and discernment are critical. Navigate carefully and wisely, these gleaming mirages may lead only to the depths of despair.